Are you ready to hear an open discussion of everything they thought they've canceled? Then welcome to Old School with Patrick Rooney, where we discuss natural health, success, and freedom! One of the things that we learned there, and this kind of gets into martial arts, obviously, there's some type of a cross that comes between spiritual and physical, and martial arts has a history of having a spiritual component to it. Maybe not so much anymore as much, but in the old days, it had a spiritual component. A lot of the martial artists, you see a picture of, let's say, Bruce Lee. I know you mentioned him in your bio being a huge, I think you read, was the Tao of Jeet Kune Do, I believe it was, that you read, which I've read that as well. But you see pictures of Bruce Lee, and he changed a lot of people's. I mean, he was probably the explosion that changed millions of lives, and how we look at martial arts and how we look at even life, the way he kind of just distilled and took out what he wanted and needed and discarded the rest, right? The saying goes. But I see pictures of Bruce Lee, and he would be meditating near the water somewhere. And as he spoke about things, you could tell that he was an enlightened individual. He wasn't faking it. Yes, he drew from different sources like we all do, but he had his own unique, I guess, self to him. What did Bruce Lee mean to you?
You connected something that isn't necessarily a connection. A human being has three aspects to him. There's the spiritual, the foundation. There's the mental, and then there's the physical. When I looked at martial arts in the past, it was broken up like that. When I look at martial arts now, I only see the spiritual. See, the vessel that we in is material. Mm-hmm. Whether it's here or it isn't here, it's built on the spiritual. So martial arts and all of life is spiritual, period.
Yeah.
Now, in order for you to see it, God had to add the atoms, the physical to it. So yes. Bruce Lee, to me, he touched on the internal in his material and as he lived. And I believe that's why people appreciate him so much, is he came from an internal aspect. And when he described it physically, he described it in more ranges and in reality than the partial artists, which I take nothing away from them because they're specialists in what they do, but it's right. Partial. Bruce Lee was the truth in the martial arts, expressing it not just in kicking, punching, weapons, close range, ground. I would say Bruce, and I'll stress it again, he is that giant seed that woke people up.